Okay, so question number 10. One of these triangles is picked at random, so we have 3 different types of triangle, and it says work out the probability that its perimeter is less than 30 centimeters. Okay, so it needs to be less than 30 centimeters. So that's better. So we must show our working. So if we look at these, now the perimeter is the distance around it. So we have all 3 sides for this one. So this is fine. So the perimeter of this one would be 12 plus 9, which is 21, plus 8, which is 29 centimeters. Okay. This one we don't have this 3rd side, so we're going to have to find that. Now this one, this angle is 60 degrees and this angle is 60 degrees. Now I know that there's 180 degrees in a triangle, so this angle must be 60 degrees as well to make the 180 degrees. If that's the case, it's an equilateral triangle, so this side will be the same length as this side, and this side will be the same as well. So the perimeter of this triangle is 3/11, which is 33 centimeters. Now you would actually write this down here, so I would say this is triangle A, triangle B, triangle C, okay, and in here I would say triangle A is equilateral, so all sides are equal. Okay, obviously you would write this much tidier than I've done. So the perimeter of A equals 11 times 3, which equals 33 centimeters. And triangle C the perimeter okay, I'm writing this really quickly, okay, but you'll get the idea. The perimeter here is 9 plus 8 plus 12, which gives us 29 centimeters. Now we need to find triangle B. So for triangle B, it's a right angle triangle, so I can use Pythagoras. Okay, so A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Now I'm looking, let's call this side B here. So C is 13 and the other side is whatever it is. So I need to make B the subject of the equation, so I can write therefore B squared equals C squared minus A squared. I've got a tendency to manipulate the formula before I put in my answers. So then I can write therefore b squared equals 13 squared minus, now the other side is 10, so this would be 10 squared. Okay, so therefore b squared equals, now 13 squared is 169 minus 100, so I can say that b squared equals 69, so b must equal the root of 69. So I would just go to my calculator, and the root of 69 is about 8.3. Okay, so I can say that therefore b equals 8.3. So the perimeter of b equals 8.3 plus 10 plus 13. So this would be plus 10 plus 13. Okay, so that will equal, so that's 23, so that will be 31.3. So that's the perimeter of one triangle. This is the perimeter of the second triangle, and this is the perimeter of the third triangle. Now, always go back to the question. It says, what's the probability that its perimeter is less than 30? So we only have 3 triangles. Only one of them is less than 30 centimeters. So our answer would be probability of 1/3, or 1 in 3. Okay, so the reason that there's so many marks for this is they know you're going to have to use Pythagoras to find out this side, and also to see if you can deduce that this is an equilateral triangle. Okay, so it's not that difficult a question, it just looks a bit messy. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Okay, so question 11. Andrew is paid £250 a week. Each week he shares his pay with his sister in the ratio of 3:1, and he saves 12% of his share. How many weeks will it take Andrew to save £360? So he earns £250 a week, so this is important, and he shares his money with his sister in the ratio of 3:2. Okay, so he shares his pay with his sister in the ratio of 3:2. So this is Andrew's share, and this is his sister's share. So we have 5 shares here. So first thing we need to do is find out what one share is. So this would be 250 divided by 5, because we've got 5 shares, so £50. So we can say that £50 equals 1 share. Okay, so Andrew gets or receives 3 shares, so he gets £150. Now he saves 12%. So here I can write saves 12% of £150. Now I like to keep this simple, so 10% of 150 is 15. 1%, decimal point moves back again, is 1.5. So we can say therefore 12% equals 15 plus 2 lots of 1.5, so I would say 15 plus 3, which equals £18. So I can say saves £18 per week. Okay, so how many weeks will it take him to save? Okay, so this is nice and simple. So the number of weeks to save £360 equals 360 divided by 18, because every week he's saving 18. Okay, now I know 18 goes into 36 twice with 0, so you could use a calculator for this, but this would be 20. So I can say it would take him 20 weeks, okay, and actually write the units in, okay. So quite a nice simple question, really there for a lot of marks. Okay, so we'll move on to the next. Okay, question 12. A farmer is building a fence using posts and beams. Now the beams are 180 centimetres apart. The total length of the fence is 2,700 centimetres long. So from end to end, 2,700 centimetres long. Use this formula to work out the cost of the fence. So C equals 5 multiplied by the number of beams plus twice the number of posts. Okay, so they've given you a formula. Now we know that each stage of the fence is 180 centimetres. Okay, so we need to know how many steps we need, because it's going to not just replace this part. It gives the impression that you're just repairing the fence, but he wants a whole fence. So this would be 2,700 divided by 180. Okay, so if I divide that, I think it's 15, but I'll just check. So 2,700 divided by 180. Okay, so I was right, that's good. So this would be 15, let's say 15 stages. Okay, So from here to here will be 1, from here to here will be 2, from here to here will be 3, and so on. Okay, so this would be one post and 2 beams, 1 post, 2 beams, 1 post and 2 beams. But we do need a post at the end, so we do need to add 1 post. Okay, so the fence, okay, would equal 15 posts plus 1, so this would be 16 posts plus, now we know he needs 2 beams for every stage, so this would be 2 lots of 15, so this would be 30 beams. Okay, so now we can use the formula. So if C equals 5 multiplied by B plus 2P, okay, we can then say that the cost is 5 times, now the number of beams is 30, plus 2 lots of 16. So if I just write this down, you could just go ahead and do it. Okay, so you could just go to this step, which is 5 30 beams plus 32. Okay, so the cost would be 5 times, now 30 plus 32 is 62. Okay, so we can say that the cost would be 5 lots of 62, which would be 310. So we can say that this is £310. Okay, nice and simple. The thing to remember is that you're going to need an additional fence post at the end, okay, because you'll start from here and you'll have 1 post, 2 beams, then another post, 2 beams. Now at the end you want a post to finish the fence, so you need that additional. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. Okay, so question 13. Use trial and improvement to find the solution to 2 to the power of x minus 10 equals 0. Give your answer to 1 decimal place. Now, the x is the power. So for example, if I had 2 squared and I tried 2 squared minus 10, now 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 minus 10 is minus 6. Now we want to get as close to 0 as we possibly can. So I can see that x is not 2. Okay, now this x value, we're used to using whole numbers, like 2 to the power of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can have decimal powers. Okay, now they've tried 2 to the power of 3, so that's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. 8 minus 10 is minus 2, so this is too small. So let's say 2 to the power of 4. Now 2 to the power of 4 will be 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are 8, 2 8s are 16, 16 minus 10 would give me 6. Too large. Okay, and you can see it's just guess. That's all it is guess. So this is close to 0. This is quite away from 0, so I would say that it's closer to 3 than it is to 4. This is just an educated guess. So let's say we said 3.2. Okay, now with your calculator you would go 2, and there's a button there with X, and the power area is just a little square. So you press that and you type in 3.2 and then hit equals. Okay, and then minus 10. Now that gives me minus 0.810. Okay, so that's close. Okay, but we can see too small. Okay, so let's ramp it up a bit. So let's say 3.3. So again I go to my calculator and it'll be 2 to the power of 3.3 equals, and then subtract 10 equals. Now here I get an answer of minus 0.150. Okay, still too small, but getting closer to 0. So let's try 3.4. I can hear you saying, oh yes Tel, let's try that. So 2 to the power 3.4 equals, and then subtract 10 equals. Now that gives me 0.556. That's too large. Okay, so 3.5 is too large by about 0.5. 3.3 is too small by only about 0.15. Now it says use trial and improvement to find the solution to this. Give your answer to 1 decimal place. So they only want 1 decimal place. We could try 3.35, say, but that's not giving it to 1 decimal place. So I can see here that 3.3 is closer. So I would say that X equals 3.3. Okay, and I would just write in there a little addendum, approximately. Okay, so whenever you see trial and improvement, it's guessing by God. Okay, so if you go too large, try going too small. If you go too small, try getting a little bit larger, and then just sort of gradually working your way through. Okay, so I'll stop here and I'll go on to answer the next questions in another video.